Hey, this is Matt once again. We're back to another video, and this is a paid request from KINGPIN, one of three. Thanks to him. Thank you so much for that. Sorry for the lateness of this. I will admit there were some movies I had to watch before, and I was kind of waiting for these because I do like these films. So I kind of wanted to wait a bit to be like, it'll be a cleanse from some of these other films that were requested because I know I'd have a good time rewatching these films again. So that's my fault, but I'll try to do better next time, but thank you, KINGPIN. For anyone that wants to request any other type of videos, whether it be a topic, a tier list, a ranking, a reaction, a commentary, a movie review, a re-review, playing a video game for an hour, or a full playthrough, whatever the case may be, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal. I do have a Patreon and a CashApp because people have asked about that. Links are in the info box, and I'll get to them as soon as I can. But this is for Captain America, the First Avenger from 2011. This is when Marvel, the cinematic universe, is getting started. You've had Iron Man, you've had Thor, the Incredible Hulk, Iron Man 2. And Thor, was it the same year as this? There's things like Iron Man, Incredible Hulk, and then you had... I can't remember the details. Yeah, Thor had come out, and then this. Because then after this, you're leading up to The Avengers, which was 2012, I believe. So I'm bad with years. And I will admit, when I first heard about this project, I'm like, I don't know, Chris Evans? Because by that point, Chris Evans was just known for doing kind of more goofy roles, like Johnny Storm and the Fantastic Four, which I liked him in that, but it's like, I don't know, can I see him as Captain America? Also, I had heard him as Casey Jones in the 2007 CGI Ninja Turtle movie. I'm like, I don't know this guy. Even though I've liked him in other stuff, I liked him in Cellular. I think Cellular is a very underrated film. Chris Evans starred with Jason Statham as the bad guy, Tim Basinger, William H. Macy. Yeah, I think that's a rather underrated film. And when I first saw this film, I'm like, wow, Chris Evans impressed me. Now, I do remember my first thoughts of watching the film. I'm like, I liked it, but I don't know. And I will say the movie has grown on me throughout the years. I do rather enjoy the film. Now, there are things I'm not big on. There's some very iffy special effects CGI at times. I thought the first half, I wish there was a bit more action in certain spots. But I would say of all the Marvel Cinematic Universe stuff, this is easily the best trilogy, the Captain America movies. I like all three. The second one I think is the best. Not only the best of the three, but I think the best Marvel Cinematic Universe movie. From 2008 to now, I think Winter Soldier is the best of all those movies. But I'll get to that next time. But this was a good start. It was a good beginning. Watch it again to really see the heart. Because Joe Johnston directed this, who did The Rocketeer. I'm like, okay, yeah. If you want to make a Captain America film, getting the guy who did The Rocketeer is a very good choice. Because you can tell he has a certain affinity, love for that era. It showed in The Rocketeer, it showed in this. Chris Evans, he played it, they did a great job with that character, playing a very heartfelt and straightforward, and he's a guy that, I didn't read Captain America comics. I'm not going to sit here and lie and say I did. Because there are people like, oh yeah, I love Captain America, I knew him all the time. How many comics you read? I don't know, I'll get back to you. Then they'll buy, like, you know, a couple comments, and I read all of them. But all I knew of Captain America was some bits in cartoons and that terrible 90s movie with Matt Salinger stealing cars and having rubber ears. But this was a lot of fun. Even watch it again. And the cast, Chris Evans does a great job. Like I said, he's a guy you could see why they cast him. He was stoic. He was commendable. He was the character he plays is honest and upstanding, and he means what he says. Even though he's a very scrawny guy, he's suffering through asthma and all this other conditions. He keeps getting refused, but he wants to do it. And someone even asks him, "So you want to kill Nazis, huh?" He's like, "No, I don't want to kill anyone. I just don't like bullies." And that could sound like an iffy line from someone else, but when Chris Evans says it, that's what Captain America would say. That's the kind of person he is. He's the Boy Scout, but not in an annoying, irritating way. So I'm glad I was proven wrong. And Chris Evans became my favorite character of the Marvel stuff, easily. Captain America became my favorite character. Even in films like The Avengers and other stuff, he was my favorite character. Because I just loved his drive, his commitment, and how he took things rather serious for good reason. And his gun-ho, not give up attitude. You don't want to give up, do you? I could do this all day. Like, these stuff they implement, which then they showcase later on, that even though I do like Robert Downey Jr. and Tony Stark, and he became the face of Marvel. Again, I'm talking about from 2008 to now. He became the face of Marvel, but to me, Chris Evans, Captain America, was the heart. Tony was the mouthpiece and the face, but this guy was the heart of it. That's how I view it. And the supporting cast, you got Tommy Lee Jones as a guy in the military, commanding officer. We got Stanley Tucci as the German scientist, but he's the good guy, and he helps get this serum for the special, super soldier program that gets into Steve Rogers. You have Hugo Weaving, Agent Smith from the Matrix films. He's the bad guy, the Red Skull. Now, granted, the Red Skull is kind of disappointing because I think they could have given him a lot more in terms of interesting dialogue to say. I don't like that they CGI his face. I'm like, you can't create an actual practical makeup? I mean, look at what they did with Frank Langella as Skeletor in Masters of the Universe. You tell me they can't make a practical mask? I don't know why they had to CGI the face, and it was distracting. Even watching nowadays, I thought it was a bit distracting. And the Red Skull, like, they did nothing with that character later on. What, he appeared in, what was it, Endgame? And someone with Black Widow? I barely remember that, like, because there was, like, nothing. It just seems like there's a lot more you could have done with that villain, the Red Skull, and that seems like, oh, that could be a really good villain. And Hugo Weaving, like, as Agent Smith, he really owned that role. But this kind of seemed like, Like, I like the character Red Skull, and I like his design, but again, the CG face, and he didn't really have much in terms of dialogue. I think that could have been done a bit better. But they go into introducing Bucky, who of course would be a prominent character later on as the Winter Soldier. They introduce Steve meeting this guy Stanley Tucci and going, "Hey, why don't you try this out?" And they see he's got a lot of heart, even though he's scrawny. He could think outside the box, like, "Hey, here's this flag. Get this flag, you'll get a ride back." So he just unscrews the thing, lets it fall down, takes the flag, and impresses Agent Carter, Peggy. I forget the actress's name because I'm bad with names, but I liked her. I thought she did a good job. She had a nice bit of spunk and energy, but wasn't a man-hating bitch like they would probably do nowadays. I love Tommy Lee Jones. He's a great actor. From Men in Black to Volcano to all sorts of movies. Great to see him in there. Obviously, because this takes place in the 1940s, we never got to see Tommy Lee Jones again in this whole Marvel thing, which is too bad, but I did like the bit where Agent Carter punches someone, and Tommy Lee Jones goes up and goes, "Oh, you break in the candidates, huh?" And it goes through the Super Soldier program, and the effects of the younger Steve Rogers I thought were fine for 2011. Yes, you can notice them, but I thought again they were commendable for its time period. That one I could let go and not to be rough on. And then of course when he goes in and he's much more chiseled, much more bigger, taller, ripped. Some bad things happen. Stanley Tucci gets shot. And I do like their little back and forth him and Steve Rogers had where they're ready to drink. And he's like, "Well, wait, but I can't give you a drink. No fluids. You have this thing tomorrow." "Well, we'll wait till tomorrow." And then he's like, "No, we're not. I don't have to do it. I can drink right now." So I like the little personality they gave Stanley Tucci's character. So someone is trying to steal some stuff. They shoot and kill Stanley Tucci. Chris Evans runs after him. Decent scene. Just runs, shows he got a bit of speed on him. Even though it's so fast, he like falls through this window because he's trying to get used to this. But then he's able to make it. Gets on a truck. Again, you tell that the director has a nice love affinity for this time period. Does the best that he can with the costumes and the set design. Yes, a lot of the background definitely CGI'd and touches on there, but I guess I could let that go. I've definitely seen that done a lot worse in other movies. Grabs the bad guy, but the bad guy takes something to end his own life. The thing was successful, but he's going to be sent out to do and sell bail bonds. I kind of like that idea that, oh, well, Tommy Lee Jones said, "I needed an army. I only got one guy. This was meant for an army." And someone's like, "Oh, there's something you could do to help the military." So he sells bail bonds, and he's got this costume. I thought that was a nice way to introduce the costume. That it seems like someone would be like those old wartime bail bond films. But then as someone goes, it seems like you do a lot more than this. You can be meant for more than this. And we finds out that his friend Bucky and other soldiers are behind enemy lines. He becomes a one-man army to go in and get the guys. Now, granted, this is where I kind of wish the scene was a bit better, a bit more exciting. Because when he infiltrates this compound, he's really doing stuff that anybody could do without being a super soldier. I mean, he goes into a truck, beats some people up, and throws them out. I mean, Indiana Jones could do that. He's behind a truck, he hits someone, they fly back. He's kind of sneaking around. He jumps down, there's the prisoners, lets them open. All these prisoners come out. Now, there's like 100 prisoners. I'm like, where are the guards? Like, I don't even remember him beating up guards, knocking them out. I'm like, where's the guards? There's no guards around? When there's like 100 people here now talking. I'm like, where's everybody at? So I wish that was a bit more of an exciting way for him to get into the compound. Or even with the escape, it's more of the soldiers fighting the bad guys, more of the soldiers commandeering vehicles, shooting these super weapons. Other than this little video feed, you see Chris Evans do stuff, but it's a little video feed, so you don't get a whole picture of what he's really doing, what's going on. And finally confronts the Red Skull, and it's a nice shot where everything's blowing up and the catwalk's going away, and you see they're on either side, equals. He saves Bucky, gets into safety, he does his jump, it cuts away. And then you see that, Captain America has brought them all back. And then you did this montage. And again, I enjoy Chris Evans, I enjoy the actors, I enjoy the time period they're utilized, at least the way it's utilized here. But the montage was fun. You had some action bits with the shield, and he's hidden. Like this one bit, they're going through this foggy forest, and he sees someone in a tree, throws the shield, bounces him out of the tree. He's smashing foes left and right. He's on his motorcycle, kicking ass, taking names. It was a fun montage. Very well done. Even this bit on a train later on where he's using the shield to block and using it as a battering ram and throwing the shield. And sadly, that's when Bucky falls, which that will later be implemented in other films. The ending bit where he's on a motorcycle and he's even got like a flamethrower in the back of the motorcycle, which I thought was cool, and he's doing stuff to blow up vehicles, and he's beating folks left and right. He's ricocheting the shield and bouncing off and hitting people. Like what you would want in a Captain America movie. This is what you would want to see. Punching people, kicking people, using the shield a good amount of times. Like getting your money's worth, and I appreciate that. That was fun. He gets caught as part of the plan so that the good guys can go screw up the compound. Now, like I said, there is some iffy CGI, and I would say spoilers, but most people have either seen this film, and it's, you know, God, was it? Damn, I didn't realize how old this film was. I mean, well over 10, like 13 years old. Jesus. Yeah, because the second one is 2014, and that's 10 years old, so yeah. Damn, that's crazy. But yeah, the CGI at times is really iffy, especially the bit where Tommy Jones is driving Captain America and Peggy Carter, and they're in that hangar to try to get to the plane. The whole backdrop is a really bad CGI. It reminded me of Fast and Furious 4, where they're driving through the mountain. You just see everything, this CGI blur of stuff, and it's just really distracting. You just tell they're inside. It's a computer, and it takes away the escapism where you're trying to believe in the world, but whenever in the back looks so fake, it's really hard to that disbelief to it's hard to keep that intact. And like I said, so there's some CG that isn't the best, and I kind of wish there's certain things they did a bit more practical, like an early Indiana Jones film. Well, it would have been nice if you had, they have the budget, but the film more like Indiana Jones where you try to do as much in camera as possible. And there's some stuff they do, but then they have scenes like that, which is pretty iffy. Although I do like the funny bit where Cap and Peggy kiss, and then Tommy Jones looks and goes, "Well, I'm not kissing you." Cap gets on, he has a fight with the Red Skull, takes care of business. Even a part which there's these guys, like kamikaze guys with these bombs that are going to fly into cities, and Cap's able to get rid of them, turn around and bring right back into the plane. I thought that was an entertaining bit. I didn't mind the way that would. I thought for its budget and its time period, that looked pretty decent. Captain America is able to get at least a few hits into the Red Skull. A lot more satisfying than the 90s Captain America. He's got to crash the plane. Says goodbye to Peggy. I'll meet you at this place a week from now. He crashes. He wakes up. It's many years later. He runs. He doesn't know what's going on, and then sees that he's in the middle of the city in modern time, and Nick Fury comes up and says, "Hey, how's it going? You've been asleep for a while." The last line was a bit weird. I mean, I like the line he says. It was, "I had a date," which is, supposed to be sad and poignant. But then, like, the music crescendos and it do 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 do, like patriotic music. It's like that's supposed to be very sad, somber. He he missed that. That part of his life is taken away. That part of life is gone. So we're not given enough time until we finally get to and so okay, dude. Like, kind of breaks a little bit of the momentum there, a little bit of the emotion there, a little bit. But you know, while I do have nitpicks, I wish the first half had a bit more action. I wish Captain America's first mission, there's a bit more things he could have done to show, yes, he's a super soldier, and you need a super soldier to get in this compound and save these prisoners. Just in the way he did it, hell, John Rambo could have done that. But, like I say, there's some CGI that's a bit iffy. But its heart was in the right place. The way the time period is utilized by the director, the cast. I like the girl who plays Peggy. I like Chris Evans, did a wonderful job. Definitely the heart of the film. People like Stanley Tucci and Toby Jones and etc. The music fits with the time period. Again, there's some sincerely funny bits, like the bail bond stuff. That seems in line, doesn't seem like it just comes out of the blue. Like sometimes they try to fit comedy in a film nowadays, especially a Marvel film, that's like, okay, it's only in here just to be a wannabe Guardians of the Galaxy. Here, well, number one, Guardians hadn't come out yet, and number two, it felt more natural in this. And sometimes just the fun action bits was nice to see, like the shield bits and how commendable Chris Evans is and kicking ass, taking names, and sometimes that's what you want in a Captain America film. Like I said, I wish the Red Skull there's a bit more beat to the bones of the character. Does he have Hugo Weaving there? But overall, I enjoyed this. This was fun to revisit, and definitely one of the better Marvel films to me. I probably would say I put Iron Man 1 above this. I do like the first Thor. I don't know if I put that above this or below. I don't know. But yeah, it was definitely a step in the right direction. Put it that way. So with that said, thanks for watching. Take care. And we'll see you guys later. Bye-bye for now.